soon, but until then, we will have our discussions online. So I'm Dr. Tayyaba Tamim. I am Associate Professor at School of Education, and my area of interest is social justice and education. Today, we will briefly talk about gender as a construction and as performance. It's a large area, but we are going to focus only a few things. So let me take you to my screen and we talk a little bit about this. So, 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 okay. So before we actually start off, why don't I give you some time to think about these two questions. Number one is, how would your life be different if you belonged to the other gender? And while you answer this, think of how would your personality be different? How would your life chances be different? It would be great if you have a pen and paper next to you. Take 2 minutes to write it. Otherwise, use your mobile, jot down important points, and I'll check with you in 2 minutes. So how would your life be different if you belonged to the other gender? Would you be the same person? Would the life chances be the same? Would you have the same opportunities? Would you make the same career choices? Would you choose the same subjects? One more minute. So write whatever comes to your mind, and you have always a choice to share what you would like to share. But be honest about what you write. Try to contextualize it in terms of your own life. So where you are, whatever class you belong to, which city you belong to, what would be different if you were not this gender but some other gender? All right. So what we do now is that if you have completed the sentence that you're writing, we stop here and I ask you to raise your hands and give your response. All right, I can see one hand up. Please go ahead. I can see 3 hands up. Okay, please go ahead. I can't hear you. Ji. Nurul Huda, could you go ahead, please? Nurul Huda? Yeah. You're on mute. Can you unmute? Yeah, great. So please let me know that you imagine yourself to be a boy or this the other gender. Nurul Huda. Hello.
Hello.
Gigi. Can you please speak? All right. I don't know why I can't hear you. So I will hold on to it, and I'll move to Alizai. Ji, Alizai, could you go ahead, please? Ji.
Thank you very much. And Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So,
Alaikum.
if I am a girl, uh, right now I'm a boy, and if I imagine I am a girl, then first of all, I think for me the norms will change. The how society accepts me, the way of my life is, how people perceive me. This is the thing that will change in the first place. And then the career choices, like boys have some specific kind of careers, and at the same time those same careers are like people don't accept the girls in that career. The first example that comes to my mind is aeronautical engineering or aeronautics. uh, People say that it is not for a girl, but I think girls can do well in that place too. And the third one will be my goals. If I'm a boy, I have different goals, and if I'm a girl, I will have different goals. Uh, uh, from the perspective that I live in, if I am a girl, then I must have to think about my family. My own goals will come after my family and other things. Like my family is the most important thing to me, because I think in South Asia, South Asian women have their family as their first priority. Also, it's
All
the
right. Excellent. Okay. Um, Iman, could you please go ahead? Thank you, Alizai. Iman, please go ahead. Ji.
Yes, hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. So, as a girl, I would just like to say that if I were a boy, probably I would stand out because as a girl, I'm pretty sensitive, and men are supposed to, according to the society, men are supposed to man up. They're not supposed to have emotions. So, I think I would stand out as someone who is sensitive and is prone to emotions and expresses his emotions while crying. Also, I think as a boy,
But
I would be given much leverage. I would be given much more independence in my career choices, and also maybe um, I'd be told to follow my heart and go out with my friends and return late at night. And I think that's the kind of leverage that should be given to women as well. I would be given more confidence probably, and that's all it is. Thank you. And
all
probably,
right.
and because I would, thank you so much.
Okay, I couldn't understand the less emotions thing. Is it more emotions or less emotions if you were a boy?
Actually, I just wanted to say that boys are expected to actually hide their emotions, conceal their emotions. They are told to man up. So as a girl, I'm pretty sensitive. I try to
Okay,
express my emotions. I mostly express my emotions by crying, and boys are expected to not do that. They are told to hide their emotions instead.
okay,
So if a boy
all right.
ever cries, they said they're actually being feminine. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Saqib, Ji. Saqib, Ji, Saqib Anjum, please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
So I like to choose the lesser spoken of gender. I'd say if I were transgender, it's basically, first of all, I'll think about the familial situation. I know my family well, but I can't judge how they react socially or how they react to whatever the situation is when I'm a transgender, because the whole society has termed this particular gender as an abomination. So I guess it would deprive me of having a family first, because that's what happens to most of the people. So you're labeled as an abomination from the first moment you're born. That that label stays with you all of your life. Being a transgender, it deprives you mainly of most things that you're have as a choice in the career or choice for your future. You don't have the educational and education supporting you. Yeah, there are people who support you now, but it's still, you know, never everyone does not accept you. And without the acceptance in the society, you cannot get proper educational or professional career. So it's just, if I were a transgender, it's depriving me of all my rights. That's what would happen.
All right, so excellent. Thank you so much, Sakib. So you're talking about very little rights you're going to enjoy. So we have very little time for more responses, but my next question would be, and I would like this thing to sort of wrap up in a way to let you know that these responses that are very common. These are very common, very commonly, these are the same responses that appear in literature. These are the responses that cohorts before you have answered. And the question is, it comes in terms of, when we are thinking about it in terms of social justice, that what is this significance of social construction of gender? So social construction is that we are making up these perceptions of gender. So you talked about boys are not supposed to talk, to cry. You talked about how certain careers were not fit for certain gender, all those things. Not only this, that people impose certain identities, there's also this thing of performing gender. So all of us right now, as we are sitting, we perform gender. So I dress up like a woman because I dress up according to the norms of the society, how females should be. You dress up, you talk, you perform as what is expected of men. And my question to you is, then the question that comes is that how does it all translate into inequality? What is the big issue if we sort of like act differently, or we are expected to do things differently? And then the question is, what is the role of education? What do we want our education to do to sort of reconstruct these roles? What is the direction of our, or challenge these roles? And then what is the direction of our education system? You must have heard about single national curriculum. So how do we sort of like look at it from the point of view of, so for instance, gender equity? How do we understand what social justice issues are? So these are the things we will be talking about. And if you allow me to share one more small thing, we will wind up over here until we meet again. And this is, so what we do in our classes is that we have this Facebook group for our interactions. This is again, as you see, a social justice class group. We put up readings over here, and you have this discussion forum, so related to the topic, extending the topic. You add in material over here, you contribute to the class discussions, you contribute to the discussions that other people are doing. So this will be our forum where, in my class, you will be sort of have this space to discuss different things. And now, I can take only one quick question because I am left with only 1 minute. So I'm stopping screen share, and there is a quick question, I can take it. Otherwise, I will invite Dr. Hammad Ali to take on from here. Dr. Hammad.
Thank you, Dr. Tayyaba. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Batch of 2024. So I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat box, and they are asking what is happening here. It's just like, welcome to my class, a demo kind of a lecture to show you how are we going to conduct lectures in the fall. And the second question is, for which school is this? This is for no school, it is for everyone. These demo lectures are very general in topic. So if you are here, you are at the right place. You don't need to worry about anything. So let me start with my lecture. Okay, I'm going to talk about something different, and it is thermal comfort, human thermal comfort. It is a topic which is not talked about a lot, but it is very important in terms of its value to our life. So let me start, and The first thing is that I'm going to share a metaphor with you. And I would like to know, what do you think? What does this metaphor mean to you? What is the most important message coming out of this metaphor? I'm sharing the link with you in the chat box. Please click that link. You will have many answers available. You can choose any answer of your own choice. So here is the link. I just posted the link in the chat box. You just go visit that link and give me a response on that link. It's a Google form. Okay, the response rate is good. So let me just copy the replies that I receive, and you can see that most of you think that this metaphor conveys that the person in the middle is feeling comfortable. That was the intention. Thank you very much. But some people still think that the person on far right got fire burns. That could also be a message from this metaphor. But I hope that by the end of this lecture, all of you would change your responses to the one in the red. The person in the middle is feeling comfortable. Similarly, someone also got the message that the person on the far left got stuck in the freezer. So all these responses are correct. Please do not get any other message. These responses are correct, but this was a metaphor to show you what the topic is about. So let's move forward. Thank you for your responses. Why is thermal comfort important? You know, thermal comfort is very important for your health and well-being. If you are feeling comfortable with the temperature in your surroundings, you are going to be healthier, right? And what is the benefit of being healthier? You're going to be more productive. And this is not just a conjecture. This is a scientifically proven outcome, a fact, that with thermal comfort, with good temperature in your surrounding, when you're feeling comfortable, you're going to be more productive. And what is the impact of health and productivity? It improves the country's economy. You see, so a big statement here. If you are feeling thermally comfortable, your productivity will increase, and ultimately the country's economy will improve, right? Okay, so few people realize the importance of thermal comfort and its impact on the economy. So today's lecture, what we want to do is we want to Ihtisham, you have a question here. What is that?
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I just wanted to ask about the thermal comfort that you're mentioning. For example, in the metaphor that you showed, the person from second from the left, he's feeling a little bit cold than the person in the middle, right? So according to you, that might affect his productivity. But for example, if you take people from Karachi and people from Swat or Hunza, the temperature difference is very large, but still they're more productive in taking manual labor. So what do you think about that? Because humans eventually adapt to their surroundings.
True. What a wonderful question, Ahmed Ihtisham. I think I have to park your question, and I'm going to answer your question or address your question through these in the next 10 minutes. And if I don't, then you come back to this question, okay? I'm sorry to all others. This is just a demo lecture. I can't take too many questions at the moment, but in a real setting, I would have taken all your questions, okay? So I'm really sorry about that. Okay, so we formally define thermal comfort and recognize its importance to human life. Identify different factors that impact human thermal comfort. That is very important. It's not just the temperature. There are other things. Some of them Ahmed Ihtisham just mentioned. And you know, knowledge is power. And once you get this power, you can make better decisions and you can improve your personal thermal comfort and be more productive and improve your health as well. Okay, what are the factors that impact thermal comfort? Obviously temperature. temperature is one of the most important factor, right? So if it's 35 degrees, you don't feel comfortable. If it is 15 degrees, you don't feel comfortable either. If it's around 25 degrees, you may feel comfortable. But you know, humidity is another important factor. Even if it is 25 degrees and the humidity levels are very high, you may still not feel comfortable, and you would like either the temperature or humidity be changed by maybe some appliances in your surroundings to make you feel comfortable. Then we have air movement. That is another important aspect. If you have a fan being a running fan at 28 degrees or 30 degrees, you would still feel comfortable, even though in static settings without a fan, you would still like a 25 degrees. But when there is a fan or there is air movement outside, you can still tolerate higher temperatures a bit. And finally, it's your own self. What are you doing is also important. If you are sitting, you may want one type of one level of temperature and humidity. If you're walking, that may change. Similarly, if you're in the gym, running, doing cardio exercises, doing weightlifting, for example, you may want a different level of temperature, humidity, and air movement to feel comfortable, right? Okay, so the bottom line is 25 degrees is always not good, is not always good. So you may have to change your temperature settings depending on what you are doing. Okay, defining thermal comfort is the condition of mind. Ahmad Ehtisham, this comes back to your question. It is the condition of mind. It's less physical. Research says it's less physical that you want a 25 degrees temperature. It is the condition of mind. And the thing that you mentioned, it is because different people living in different cultures, in different places, they have different condition of mind to express satisfaction with their thermal environment. And it is assessed by subjective evaluation. It is not same for everyone, right? So it is subjective. So what we just discussed, let me put into some very easy mathematical equation. Thermal comfort is temperature plus humidity is a function of temperature and humidity and air movement. So read the plus sign here as and, okay? It's not the plus of mathematics, it's just an and. Air movement and human activity. There are more factors involved in there, but I just want to keep things simpler and start with the bigger equation that these are the factors that define your thermal comfort. And now I would like to show you the video to tell you so that you get the message of what is the meaning of condition of mind. And why is it subjective? Okay, so here is the video. So a lot of people are saying they can't hear. I think the text is visible. So if you can't hear, just watch the. So among the panelists, can someone help me fix the audio thing immediately? Adnan, Ali, whoever is there.
सर आप स्क्रीन को अनशेयर करें और शेयर करने के लिए दोबारा से आप क्लिक करेंगे तो आपके पास शेयर कंप्यूटर विद ऑडियो, उसको आपने चेक लगा देना, फिर आपके पास स्क्रीन शेयर हो जाएगी विद ऑडियो.
ठीक है.
But ASHRAE knows it. ASHRAE says thermal comfort is a condition of mind that expresses satisfaction with the thermal environment and is assessed by subjective evaluation. So what does that mean? It means nothing. It means if Michael is hot and this Michael is cold, neither are comfortable. Guess what? Temperature's the same. Assessed by subjective evaluation. It's in here. It's your cultural expectation. So this young lady from Africa and these Canadian young ladies have different cultural expectations of comfort. The Europeans and the Americans have different cultural expectations. I always ask my clients, would you like to spread the comfort zone? Very few of them say yes, but when they do, we get huge savings.
Okay, so thermal comfort is something very subjective. It depends on a lot of aspects. So now it's just a small assessment here. I haven't really talked about how these different appliances happen to impact these different factors here. So this is a small quiz here. So now I would like to see some hands being raised. So it's a matching column problem. What do you think temperature is impacted by? Alizai, go ahead. By which one of these devices?
Temperature is affected by AC.
Is AC, and any other device which may affect temperature? It's not just one. Maybe there are multiple lines coming out of the temperature. What other do you think may impact? What other device?
Or exhaust fan.
Exhaust fan. Why would you say exhaust fan? That is interesting.
Like it actually manipulates the air movement, and like it controls the air movement. So therefore, when like if there is an hot air in one room and with the exhaust fan, and like it can be exchanged with the other outer environment.
Sure, sure. Thank you, Ali. So actually, I see a lot of hands being raised. Guys, I'm really thankful to you that you want to participate. It's just the time constraint, okay? In a real class setting, you would all be entertained with your questions. So temperature is actually impacted by electric heater as well, you see. AC and exhaust fan, because exhaust fan either pulls the air from outside or pushes the air from inside to outside, or vice versa. And you know the temperature of inside and outside may be different, so it can also impact temperature. Similarly, humidity is impacted by dehumidifier. Electric heater as well. You see electric heater, when you turn it on, your skin gets red. You see a lot of dry air in the room. That's because it impacts the humidity. Desert cooler fan. It's the desert cooler which also impacts the humidity. And similarly, air movement is affected by the fan, the exhaust fan, the desert cooler as well. And human activity is only impacted by the human itself. So my final quiz, and that I'm going to post here. I'm going to post a link in the chat box, please. So if there is high temperature and low humidity, which one of these two devices will you use? Here is the link. Link not sent, sir. Here is the link. Sorry. Please don't type. I'm going to send the link again and again so that, yeah. I did. Oh, sorry. It's the link is only going to the panelists, not to all. So now I send to everyone. Okay, so let's wait for some responses. I still did not receive any response. The link is to a different question. Okay, let's then drop it. And we are, okay, so I'm going to take some answers online here. Raza, would you like to answer which device are you going to use? Ji Raza, go ahead. Okay, so a lot of you are saying AC. Well, AC would work, but as well as desert cooler. You see there are benefits and drawbacks here. Yes, go ahead, Raza.
Desert cooler can decrease the temperature as well as it will increase the humidity because it has water drops with it.
Yeah. Perfect, and it's the cheaper of two options. It's more energy friendly. It is not going to impact the environment badly, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
it will
great.
also be cheaper than the AC.
Thank you, Raza. Both these devices would work. I'm sorry I sent you the wrong link, but both these devices would work. It's just the choice, the cost, and all these factors would matter. So what did we learn? Thermal comfort is an important aspect of daily life. And in the next lecture, if it was there, we would have defined these relationships between these factors and thermal comfort in a more fine granular way. That's the end of lecture. Now the stage is open for question and answers. So now is the time for you to ask questions from me and Dr. Tayyaba about the lectures, as well as if you have any general questions about the online pedagogy. Dr. Tayyaba, if you could please turn on the mic as well. So questions can be asked via the chat, or via the question and answer chat, or by raising your hand. So I'm lowering all the hands for a second so that all the previous hands are cleared, raised hands. Now you can hand. Afan has the question. Afan, go ahead, please ask.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. I had to ask, like, is there a difference between the comfort level of two different people, and like, can they have that sort of a different comfort for the same sort of temperature? And if that's so, then why is that the case?
Yes, Fan, there can be the case. Maybe they are wearing different clothes. Maybe they have different fat levels in their bodies, and a lot of other factors that even if they are from the same culture from the same place, they may have different thermal comfort requirements. Okay, next question, please. Ansa, you have a question that which demo class were these? They were just demo classes on general topics, not very domain specific, okay? So it was just to show you how are we going to conduct our online classes, and they're going to be typical online MOOCs where you just watch recorded videos mostly with some level of interaction. We just wanted to give you a demo. Musa, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I actually had two questions. One of them was related to your lecture in particular, and the other one is just a general question. So the first question I wanted to ask, how much of thermal comfort is dependent on sort of physical characteristics, for example, the level of melanin in the skin or the level of fat in the skin, and how much of it is sort of social or cultural, for example, the location they're in, like for example, some people in Africa versus people in Canada, and sort of just how they've been raised. For example, people who've had access to air conditioning and people who haven't. So how much of this is sort of a scientific thing, and how much of it is just a sort of mental or a social thing?
Okay, and what was your second question?
My second question was, I wanted to know that our online classes, are they going to be in a webinar format or in a group call format?
Okay, and what would you mean by group call?
So the by the group call format, I mean basically you know, when we can sort of see each other's faces and it's like the whole everyone's there. And in the webinar format, I mean this way, where we're sort of muted until we actually raise our hand and everything. So for example, I had a meeting with my group which was in a group call format, so we could all see each other all the time. And this is sort of yeah.
Okay, Musa, I'm going to skip your first question because it is related to the technical content. We would like to address more questions similar to the one that you asked just now, the second question, okay? If you allow me. Dr. Tayyaba, can you please answer the second question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much. So I think in the Zoom call, we can see each other. So we switch on our cameras during the class time. So I don't think that is the kind of difference that would make that would be there. So we will hold the classes on Zoom just like we are holding the classes now. And if we have this option for people to write in the chat boxes and to switch on the cameras, and then we see each other.
Yes. So just to add to Dr. Tayyiba's answer, it depends on a lot on the internet connectivity of the participants as well. So we may ask you to share your screens or to show the video if you have good internet connectivity, but we will also accommodate the participants who have poor internet connectivity. But whether it's a webinar, group chat, you will have a lot of options. You will be given the control, kind of the ability to share the video and interact with your participants. Here is another important question. How will CP be marked in larger classrooms with 50 or more students? This comes from an anonymous attendee, okay? We have a lot of ways. Different instructors will incorporate different ways. Some of them will incorporate CPs in smaller classes based on the discussion that you do in the class. Some of them will ask you to write a 1-minute paper, for example, at the end of the class and share with the instructor so that they know what you learned in the class. And there are a variety of other techniques which will also be employed by different instructors in different domains, in different schools. But we have a number of plans to address different constraints of the participant for CP as well.
So if I can add to it, Hammad, I shared my Facebook page especially for that. So if we upload the papers over there, we put in questions, people have, so all of you put remarks over there, make comments, and that also is a way to allow you to sort of like get a mark in the CP. And this is also a way that you don't need internet connection then and there. So you can do it at your, in your own time.
Right. And there is a similar question, the attendance policy. Yes, it will be revised. Zahra, the question is from Zahra. If the attendance policy will be revised to accommodate those with connectivity issues, yes, we will accommodate. You will see a lot of empathy and compassion going on. We understand the problems that different students from different backgrounds, from different places in Pakistan have different internet speeds, so we will take care of that as well. Nasir Maqsood.
You're on mute, Nasir. You're on mute.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Sir, I wanted to ask a question about the factors of thermal comfort. Can homesickness and your friends can be a factor of thermal comfort?
Nasir, homesickness? Did you say homesickness?
Yes, and friends.
Nasir, not that I know. I'm sorry, I can't really answer this question from the top of my head, that how does the homesickness and friends can impact your thermal comfort. Maybe there is some research on that, but not that I'm aware of, okay?
Hammad, there is a question by Alizai. Is FAST NCC policy available for freshmen? Would you like to have a go at this one?
I think yes, but I am not certain about it. RO will communicate that. It is available to everyone. But you have to confirm. This is a very technical question related to your degree program. So you may have to ask RO, and RO will share, the registrar office will share information. Khalilur Rahman.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.
I have a question, sir, regarding comfort level, thermal comfort. Sir, don't you think that resources are directly linked with the comfort level, because there are two systems, the rich and the poor, especially in Pakistan, and the rich enjoy the resources and the poor cannot enjoy the resources, and they are also human beings and they demand the same comfort level. And secondly, is it not all depend on the social network, and in this time of quarantine when there is social distancing, so how it works that comfort level if it depends on these two things?
This is a very good question. Again, it's a thermal divide. Like we talk about a lot of other divides. There is a thermal divide, yes, and that will impact the thermal comfort. True. So what I meant from the lecture was that thermal comfort is needed for productivity. You are coming from the social. You have a social question that yes, it will impact. Poors have less access to the thermal comfort devices, and rich people have more access. And sorry, I forgot your second question. But honestly, I'm really sorry. I would like the questions to be more about online teaching and online semester. So this session is about that. Okay, I'm really sorry. These are very important questions. Maybe you can write me an email to get an answer to those questions. Khizr.
Khizr, you are on mute.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
All right, thank you for the recognition. So the question I had was related to class participation because, for example, right now we're supposed to raise our hands, right? लेकिन there is no pecking order जिससे पता चले कि किसकी बारी कब है and things of that sort. So I am a little skeptical as to how the class participation वाली चीज would take place because it's a little confusing क्योंकि पता नहीं चल रहा कि कितने लोगों ने हाथ खड़ा किया है या किसकी बारी कब है, things of that sort. So that is a little unsettling.
Right.
So, can I comment on it, Hammad?
Sure.
So, Khizr, I would like to really emphasize that we are very aware of this. We work with, so the number of TAs, teaching assistants that will work with us will also increase, and they always keep an eye on who raised the hand first. So it's very easily discernible कि हाथ किसने पहले खड़ा किया और किसने बाद में किया. And it's only because right now we have a very large number, that is like around 300 plus participants, and over here, there in the class you will only be around 50, 60 or something. So it's really seamlessly done. So don't worry about it at all. So Hammad, over to you if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I would like to add to that. It was Khizr probably. The question was from Khizr. Yes, Khizr. So the thing is that Zoom automatically tells us who raised the hand first. You see, the order of hand raising is the order in the participant list. But anyways, what Dr. Tayyaba said, right now we have more than 300 participants in this class. Average class sizes at LUMS are way below 50. Okay, so in many classes there will be 20, 30, 40 students. There it is easily manageable. And I can tell you that this problem also exists even in class sessions as well. So if a lot of people raise their hands and in 1 hour we have a class, we sometimes have to skip some questions, right? And so this problem is not peculiar to online teaching. Secondly, in very large classes, there will be less synchronous classes and more asynchronous classes where you will be given recorded lectures. You may be given the choice to watch those recorded lectures on a tool where you can edit, where you can leave comments on the videos, and the teacher will then take these comments to synchronous or asynchronous office hours where they will address this question. So there will be many modes of interaction. So not just the hand raising in class. You will have chance if you had an important question which you missed inside the class, there will be other forums, other ways to interact with the teacher. And eventually, inshallah, you will get the chance to get the answers to your questions. Okay, a couple of more questions, Gigi.
Just to add on what Hammad said, even the chat space, chat space also gives you this unique space to actually add on your questions. So when we are marking CP, we also keep an eye on that. So there is another question, Muhammad Ramzan, and he's saying how we are going to manage assignment and other things that directly impact our CGPA. Hammad, I'm not very sure what the question is. Could you maybe...
What was the question? Sorry. I thought you were going...
How do we go about our assignments because they directly sort of affect our CGPA?
Assignments is, I think, one of the things which is least affected by online. You will do your assignments and you will submit them online. So if you can make your questions a little more clear, then we may be able to answer it. You can turn on the mic and ask the question. पैनलिस्ट से पूछ लेते हैं, अली और साद, हमें डिसकंटिन्यू करना है अभी या वी कैन हैव 5 more minutes?
एक्चुअली सर हमारा कट ऑफ टाइम 4:45 था, so
अच्छा,
उसके अकॉर्डिंगली तो वी आर ऑलरेडी ओवर अ मिनट.
Okay, so guys, thank you very much. It was impossible to answer all the questions. Sorry, this was just a demo class. Dr. Tayyaba and I tried to show you how we are going to interact in much smaller classes. So just to give you an idea. Dr. Tayyaba, if you want to say something before we disconnect.
Yeah, we are very much there. I just wanted to allay your fears and let you know that we are very much there. We understand what you're going through. We understand the issues, the tiredness that can come with online teaching. So we have really deeply engaged with these issues. So really looking forward to interact with you, and I think you'll really enjoy it.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Tayyaba. Last words, folks, do not worry about any kind of assessments. All teachers will give you multiple types of assessments. You will have, if you can't participate in the online lecture, no worries. There will be other ways to participate in the lecture. You can watch the recorded lectures. If you can't participate in the online exam, no worries. There will be an oral exam. There will be other ways to participate in the exam. We will take care of this, okay? So don't worry about assessments and these things. Thank you very much, and good luck with the remaining orientation. See you soon.
See you soon. Good luck.